Hello and welcome to the weekly update. My name is Matt. It's great to have you with us. As you can tell today, there's been a change in scenery. I thought it was time to take the show on the road to the warehouse. We start with breaking news from Manila in the Philippines. We recently acquired the services of a very talented, on-the-ground reporter that will be bringing us news from this wonderful part of the world. So here is the first and probably last installment of Steve, Thoughts from Asia for Africa.
Hey guys, this is Steve. Today marks the first and probably the last installment of my new series called Thoughts from Asia for Africa. Essentially, I'm out here trying to give you guys hot off the press tips coming from life in Asia post-lockdown. And the objective is to really just give you guys that inside trading information around thought leadership and the pioneering thinking post-lockdown. The first one is there's this growing movement of people learning to walk on roads again. So during lockdown you could walk in the middle of the road in peace, and now people are needing to be sensitized back to walking on the pavement again. It's a massive thing here. It's a big push, and if it's big here, it will one day be big in Africa. So tip number one, get on it, learn how to walk on pavements again. Tip number two, the guys are calling it the appendage crisis. Essentially, people are going to sleep with their masks on. People are making the mistake of drinking coffee like this and then having the coffee messed on them because the mask is now becoming a part of our identity here in Asia. So get on that as well. Learn how you're going to respond to the mask. Is it something that's going to be a part of your life? Are you going to sleep with it on you or are you not? Those are some of the questions you need to be running through in your mind so that you can be ahead of the curve when these things eventually find its way into Africa. So this is Steve from your first and only episode of Thoughts from Asia for Africa. I look forward to see you guys soon.
Thank you, Steve, our very own Manila envelope. The Be Kind Fund was set up to help those in need, both within our church family and beyond the walls of our church. We had a great time on Saturday handing out food hampers to those who are in need of food at the end of the month. We really want to ensure that everybody in our church family has food on the table, especially those last tough few days at the end of the month. But this is not just about us. We want to make sure that there are people in our city that have food on the table. So if you know people that are going hungry, that are needing food, please let us know. You can email us at bekind@vcdbn, and we'll see how we can help with what we have. And even though today is the beginning of the level 3 phase of South Africa's response to COVID-19, and even though it's kind of brought a little bit more clarity with a few more relaxations of rules, we are very aware that life is still very uncertain. What will work look like when I go back? Who's going to be there? What's happening with kids and school? What's going to happen if I need to go to work and my kids are still going to be at home? And these kind of questions just go on, and they're good questions, but we don't have all the answers, and that's where anxiety and fear enter the fray. And this reminds me of a story when Jesus appears to the disciples in Luke 24, verse 35. This moment was preceded by Jesus appearing to 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus. They were left mystified and perplexed, but very certain and convinced that they had seen the risen Jesus. And so Jesus now appears in the following scene. These 2 disciples that had just seen Jesus on the road, that just checked him out, are telling their mates about the story, how they had seen the fact that Jesus had risen and he was alive. Now, this would have been a very confusing scene, a fearful scene, a chaotic scene. And this is what Jesus appears into. Was it Jesus? Were these guys going nuts? The fear and trepidation, excitement and chaos in that room would have been very rough. And it is in that moment that Jesus appears suddenly. He's standing among them and he says these 4 words in this crazy, chaotic moment, this noise. He says, "Peace be with you." Friends, despite the chaos and uncertainty, the excitement, the fear, Jesus says to you today, peace be with you. He's the Prince of Peace. So allow the Prince of Peace to bring peace to you and your family in this time. Bring the peace, Jesus. It's now time for the ins and outs of what's happening in the life of our church. Tomorrow night, Tuesday at 7 p.m., Basics continues with Tim. You can catch him on Zoom and contact him on the number below if you have any questions. They've been having a fantastic time, and we hope to see you there. Then this Friday Night Live at 7 p.m., we're going to be interviewing a very special guest on Instagram Live. You don't want to miss this one, so see you at 7 o'clock on the handle below for some fun on Insta. And then this Sunday morning, as always, we're streaming from 9 o'clock, but this time again from the warehouse. Don't forget to come and hang out with us from about 8:45 on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We want to have a chat and fun catch up with you. And then this Sunday, 10:30 a.m., the grades 1 to 5s are going to be hanging out with Kelly. You can check the Zoom link. And the grade 6s to grade 9s are going to be hanging out with Dale. Awesome times that they're having. And then Sunday, 5:30 p.m., join us for a conversation to discover calm in the storm. We want to invite you to join us for this wonderful conversation of hope in Jesus in trying times. What a fantastic week ahead we have. Now, I know that some of you are stressed. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of confusion around. And I thought, let's just take 30 seconds to breathe, close your eyes, forget about Tiger King, like seriously, erase it from your memory. Don't give any thought to the fact that coronavirus has delayed or even worse, cancelled the Friends reunion episodes. Just calm. Breathe. Breathe that stress out and breathe in peace. Okay, that's enough. As always, we want to end the weekly update with a funny video, but today we actually have an educational one for you. Ross, who finally got a haircut, is going to give us a really important, innovative lesson on wearing masks. Ross, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to go through something quickly. There's a whole lot of things about health and safety and wearing masks and coughing into your elbows and these masks are getting quite expensive. So I just thought, like, there's a lot of sort of hacks that you can use at home that you don't have to spend a fortune on buying new masks. So one of the simple things is just basically like using a nappy. Like and a lot of parents have got nappies at home, and so all you do is you just basically put it on, like, and it fits quite nicely onto your. I mean, you can actually just strap it around like that on either side, and you've got a great solution. You don't have to worry about buying new masks. So from now on, I mean, why bother with masks? You can just use a good old-fashioned nappy.
Thanks, Ross. Well, that was informative and kind of disgusting. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next week. Stay safe.